Hey, Paul, this is Roger. How's it going? All right, so this is our management system. I'm going to give you a quick rundown here of what we're looking at. So on the home page here, we've got starred policies. In other words, whenever you put a little star by a policy, it'll show up here in this list. Flagged policies, commission tracker, things that are being quoted, you're quoting, quoted, unbound renewals, underwriting, policies that have a balance due, and renewals. And it's just a flow, it goes from here all the way around, then it starts back over and over again. You got your tasks over here. You can add tasks into policies and so on. So here's basically how it goes. You add a new person, and this new person's name is Paul Williams. Boom, just like that. Male, married, etc., etc. Fill in the blank, save that. So now, Paul, you're in the system always. So I just hit Paul, and there you are. Boom, brings you right up. Search results like a Google thing. Then, if you want to add in a relationship to Paul, like a person, it's a spouse. And then we're going to go ahead and put Michelle in there. Just like that. And boom, boom, you save that up. And there you go. So now you got Paul related to Michelle. And then if you click on Michelle, she's related to Paul, of course. And then if you come back to your profile here and you want to add in a company, like your agency or an address. So let's go ahead and put in your owned premises. And that might be, 123 Easy Street, Simi Valley. There we go. And all the data that you might need to run a homeowner's quote, occupancy type, and if it's occupied or vacant, if it's in city limits, swimming pool, spa, jacuzzi, diving board, pets, on and on and on and on and on. Tons of different questions, and I'm constantly changing those questions as needed. So now we've got you related to Michelle, you related to your address, and if you go to your address, we've got the little, the Google link there. If it's an address, you can check that out, whatever. So it's kind of a nice short step there. So going back to you, what we're doing is we're creating a policy. So on the policy tab, you've got your aspects, which are things you're related to. You got notes, attachments. You can browse and attach a driver's license or whatever you might have to store in there. Policies, go ahead and add a policy. And then you're going to just fill in some blanks, effective renewal date, line of coverage, and let's just say you're going to do a business owner's policy, commercial, and let's say it's going to be a picture frame store, right? And so it's Paul's Pictures, whatever, and get that down here. We can put the commission percentages in. We can choose the insurance company, the general agent that it's assigned to, etc., etc. Status right now is just quoting. And the policy source, this will be found in the reports. When we run the reports, you can see where your business is coming from. So now what happened here is you're in this policy, and on this policy you've got you, and if you want to bring in anybody else, like Michelle, then she can be brought over. Boom. And if you want to bring over this address, boom. Now when we refresh the screen, then what's going to happen is you're going to see that in this policy, you've got Michelle and you and the address all included here. And then we're going to make you the primary insured. We're going to make Michelle the insured. And this is going to be your premises and mailing address or what have you. And you can switch these things around, kind of reorder them to your convenience. So this tells us that, hey, you need business information, and you need company information, and you need structure information. So on the aspects tab, you just come right over here to the add aspect, business information, retail business, or maybe it's service, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to create one, and it's Paul's Pictures. And of course, lots of details about the business, seating capacity, any cooking, hours of operation, employees, yada, yada, yada. And there we go. So now that business information requirement is gone. So next thing is that when you write the policy and you turn this from to be determined. You put the policy number in, and then we've got a premium here. Boom, boom, with a $50 policy fee, yada, yada. Commission percentage is 10. There we go. There's your commission. They'll calculate from the pure premium. So that's the total minus the 50 is 1,250 pure premium. And so with these outside surplus lines risks and things, it will manage your commissions and so on and so forth. And so now we'll change this to approved and add a little note here. Paul signed the apps and made the deposit. Okay, perfect. So we get this here, and it's all saved. So now when I come down here to my notes, I'll see that that note that I just made is there, but also lots of change notes. So whenever you do something in the system, the system will automatically, keep track of what happened. Policy was created, policy was set as primary insured, blah, 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 blah. Premium was added, and so on and so forth. And so over here, you can see what happens with posting a payment. So we're going to do financing, and you made a payment to, ABC Insurance or whatever insurance company it was for $700, and the reference number is, 4356, check number, whatever, you do use it however you want. At any rate, so now it's calculated that $1,300 is the total. You made a deposit of $700 and then $600. But what happens if there's a rate change? Well, their premium got reduced because it turns out there's an alarm or something like that. So now the premium has been reduced to $1,200. Commission changed, the balance changed, and so now we've got a smaller balance to contend with and finance that balance to ABC Insurance Company, what have you, and so on. But before I post that payment, I want to show you that when you go back to the dashboard and you look at balance due, then boop, there it is, Paul's Pictures with a $500 balance. So you can keep track of, all these different policies that have a balance due. When this policy comes up for renewal, it'll show up on your renewal list. There's none here now because this is just a demo site, and so on. So if I go back to this policy here, and let's say you need to put a reminder here, so you go to the tasks and Paul's Pictures, need loss runs. So you make a task there for loss runs, set it to you or another staff member, and then your due date, and then you save that. And then when you come back to the dashboard, you've always got your tasks right over here. You can also go to your tasks and see all of your tasks and drill them down. Well, there's only one in here, so you can't really drill it down, but that's about it in whole. You can track users, you can post a system message. This is a lot of fun. You just do a system message. Hooray. And this can be expanded nicely, bold and bigger and yellow, something like that. So then when you post this, then boom, right at the top, you've got a message for everybody. Could be a nice reminder for you. And you can also set it to come up later. So in other words, if I edit this message to pop up, tomorrow at 2 p.m. to call Bob, you can do that. So that's a helpful thing, and just simply close that here. Reports, total premium activity. This is where you can see exactly what's going on with, start date, end date for the period of time that you're looking at. So you want to see, what is your new business production year to date? You can do one of those, group by risk type or broker or whatever. Policy source for new business, monthly total. It's not going to show us much because this is a demo site, but all these policies here, it's going to show a little graph. It could get really, really nice and detailed, and you'll see exactly where the policies are coming from. And what else? That's kind of about it. You could search for all people. So if you put in person and you put in person, now it's going to pull up all the people that you have in the system. If you want to pull up all cases or claims, so you put in claim, and then you can run a history of the different claims, which, by the way, these are really neat, these claims. So this claim is attached to this policy. So if I'm in this liquor store policy, one of these aspects, one of these tables is a claim. Got the business info and the premises info and the primary insurance and so on. But if I go into this claim, it's a whole nother area where I can keep track of all the notes about the claim, all the attachments about the claim, estimates, photos, expert witnesses, whatever, the adjusters and different people that are associated with the claim, and of course the policy that it's on. So it's like a social network site. It goes around and around in circles, and this is the starring, this is the flag. So now if you go back to the dashboard, in the starred section you've got this liquor store, and on the flag section you've got this this person here as well. So, and there we go. That's about it, Paul. Just give me a buzz back. We can set you up on this software system pretty easily and quickly, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thanks.